Hello everyone and welcome to another Endgame episode with Coach B and MasterChess.com. In this video, we're going to take a look at the positions that involve a king and rook versus king and bishop. The ending rook versus bishop is usually a draw. However, the defender has to be careful with some positions when his king is pushed to the edge of the board. This is especially dangerous when the king is pushed to the wrong corner. In a rook versus bishop ending, the defending side, the side with the bishop, wants to make sure that when the king is being pushed back, he will run towards the corner that has the opposite color as his bishop to achieve a draw. In this first position, we could see that the black king ran to the wrong corner. He has a dark square bishop and his king is also near a dark corner. And he cannot move away from that corner as the white rook prevents him from doing that. Therefore, black will lose this game. So let's go over the correct play. With white to play, the correct move here is rook to f1. The winning plan is to force the bishop out of its safe place where it can be attacked, and at the same time the 8th rank will be threatened with checkmate. Coming back from the beginning, I do want to mention that it would be a terrible mistake here if the rook would move to something like rook to b7 threatening checkmate on b8, because after this the king will simply march to f8, getting out of the wrong corner, and then black will be able to achieve a draw. So coming back, rook to f1 needs to be played here. From here, since the bishop is attacked, he's going to have to move away. He's got a couple of different ways to move. Let's say he's going to move the bishop to d4. After this, the rook is going to go and attack the bishop, rook to d1. He's attacking the bishop on d4, but at the same time, he's threatening checkmate with the rook to d8. So from here, the bishop will move to b6, also covering the square d8, so white cannot checkmate the black king. After this, the rook will go to b1, again threatening the bishop, and at the same time, checkmate on b8. After this, black will respond with bishop to c7, keeping an eye on the square b8, so white cannot go there. But after rook to c1, the bishop is attacked again, and the checkmating square on c8, which the bishop cannot cover anymore. From here, let's say the bishop will move to d6. After rook to c8 check, the bishop is able to come on f8, protecting the black king. While white is still going to be able to win this game, all he has to do is waste a tempo, so rook to d8, and now black is in Zugzwang. The bishop cannot move, and he's forced to move the king. The only square that he has available with the king is king to h8, and after rook takes f8, this is checkmate. Coming back from the very beginning, after rook to f1, we looked at the bishop going to d4. If black responds with something different, let's say bishop to h2, after this, white will go with the rook to h1, again challenging the bishop to move once more. After bishop to g3, rook to g1. That bishop needs to move again. If bishop to h2, rook to g2, taking away the square g1 and g3, so the bishop will have to move further down. If the bishop makes the mistake of going to f4, well now white has a nice tactic with king to f5, a discover check, picking up the bishop and then winning the game from here. So coming back, after rook to g2, a better play by black would be moving the bishop to d6. After this, the rook will go to d2, attacking the bishop, also threatening checkmate on d8. The bishop will go to e7, covering the square d8 so the rook cannot go there. And now an important move, rook to c2. This move threatens checkmate on c8, and there's not much that black can do. If he tries to run with the king, let's say king to f8, well after rook to c8 check, the king cannot move anywhere and the bishop is forced to go in front on the square d8. Well after the rook captures the bishop with check, he's going to be able to win the game from here. And coming back after rook to c2, the only other try that black has is moving the bishop to f8 to prevent the checkmate on d8. Well, after this, the rook will still come to c8, and now black again needs to move his king. The bishop is pinned and can't move, so all he's got is king to h8, from which white will take the bishop with checkmate. And coming back to this position where the rook attacked the bishop on d2, I do want to mention that after bishop to e7, if white doesn't respond with the best move with rook to c2, and he makes the mistake of moving the rook to d7, well, this right here, it's a draw now, because the king can get out on f8, and now white does not have a check on d8 as the bishop covers that square. So he's going to have to move something like rook to b7, but then the king will be able to run away from the wrong corner, and then there's not much that white can do to prevent black from reaching a draw. Giving a check on b8, the black king will simply get out, and he's not going to be able to be forced in the wrong corner anymore. And coming back, I do want to mention that no better is moving the king to f5, because after king to d8, king to e6, bishop to c5, even if the rook attacks the bishop will retreat back. After rook to b7, the black king will simply run towards the good corner and be able to achieve a draw, as we're going to see in the next position. So if you ever end up with the king and a bishop versus a king and a rook, always remember to run to the corner that has the opposite color as your bishop to be able to achieve a draw. So let's take a look at that position. So in this next position, we could see that black has a light square bishop and his king is in a dark corner. Therefore, he should be able to achieve a draw. As you will see in this video, defending this type of position is not that difficult, and you're totally fine to run with your king straight away into the right corner to fight for a draw. So in this position, there's two main ways that white can play here. He could start with the rook to a8 check, or he could try to move the king to g5. So let's take a look at both of those options. If he starts with rook to a8 check, well, here the bishop will simply go to g8. And now, since black cannot make any moves and stalemate is threatened, white needs to move either the rook or the king. If white moves the rook to a7, after this, black will simply retreat the bishop to b3. Trying to chase the bishop away with something like rook to b7, it's not going to work. The bishop is simply going to stay on the a2 to g8 diagonal. Just in case if white tries to checkmate on the 8th rank, the bishop could come and protect the king on g8. So white will have to try something different. So if he moves the king here to g6, after this, we're going to move the bishop to c4. We do have to be careful. White's plan here is to check the king on h7 with the rook, forcing it to g8, and then the rook retreating will attack the bishop and force checkmate at the same time. So coming back after g6, if black makes the mistake of moving the bishop to e6 somewhere near the king, well, after rook to h7, king to g8, rook to e7 threatens the bishop and at the same time checkmate on e8. There's nothing that black has here except the bishop to f7. After the rook takes the bishop, white will be able to win this game. However, coming back after g6, if the bishop moves to something like c4, after rook to h7 check, king to g8, rook to c7 attacking the bishop just needs to make sure that he's able to attack the king on the b1 to h7 diagonal. So here black will respond with bishop to d3, king to h6, bishop to e4, and white cannot make any progress. And coming back to the position where black cannot move, we looked at the rook retreating to a7. No better is king to g5, allowing the black king to get out. After something like king to g7, rook to a7, king to h8, king to g6, bishop to c4, rook to a3, bishop to d5, rook to h3 check, king to g8, rook to e3, threatening checkmate. It's not going to be any better. Here, black simply needs to run back into the corner, and the same type of position has been achieved. And this concludes the lesson for today. I encourage you to visit my website, masteryourchess.com, to be able to practice these positions against the computer to make sure that you fully comprehend it. If you liked my video, please subscribe and don't forget to check out my new website, masteryourchess.com, where you can learn, practice, test, and master your chess knowledge.